Hey everybody, I'm Jen and welcome back to my channel. I have another guest with me today. We will get to that in a second. I just want to, we're going to jump right into it first off, but I just want to give a trigger warning right off the bat. The next clip that you're going to see after George introduces himself is very graphic as far as showing paraphernalia and drugs. And if that is something that you are not comfortable with in your sobriety, I completely and totally understand. And we will see you guys in the next one. That being said, I'm going to be introducing someone who I've known for, oh God, a long time. If you guys remember, a couple of months back, I did a very powerful emotional video about a friend client of mine named Liz who passed away, not due to an overdose, but due to complications with her substance use disorder. This is her brother, George. George and Jared have a long history. George and I, they have a tremendously long history. George and I have our own personal long history. We've known each other for quite a few years. Most of it all stems around addiction, drug use, incarceration, things of that nature. And today, George has decided that he wants to come and share his story with us. So, without further ado, I'm going to let him speak now. So, George.
Doesn't like putting me on the spot.
Yeah. Right? So, tell me about yourself. Tell me, where are you from? How old are you? What do you do? What don't you do?
Well, I guess I'll start out by saying I'm an alcoholic, and that turned into addiction pretty much overnight. As soon as my sister died, it was just started doing meth every fucking day. And, I don't want to live that life. I don't want to be hanging out with them people that are stealing and there's no integrity. Definitely better than that.
So what do you think? So what was your childhood like? Let's start there because it's easier to build a picture than to just end it, right?
Yeah.
So what was your childhood like?
It's pretty much an alcoholic from the jump.
What age was your first drink?
Like 7, maybe. My mom, my dad, they used to buy me booze at that age. So I was getting blacked out drunk by 10 years old, smoking weed. At about that age, I went to foster care. They took all the kids away. Me and Liz, we always made shit worse. So when the other siblings went to my grandma's house, we got shipped out to other foster cares. And about maybe 11, we went back with my mom and dad. And it was right back into it.
So why do you say that you and Liz made it worse? What do you mean?
Because, we were smoking weed. We were hiding in the woods smoking cigarettes. While my other siblings were, I don't know, laying low, doing nothing, I guess.
Okay. So I want to interrupt you and say something. You're a product of your environment. We all are. And I hate that you hold that and think that you and Liz were bad and made it worse or were problems or whatever. You were a product of the environment you were in.
Yeah, but we've always been the black sheep of the family, us still. So
yes, but you were a child.
Yeah.
That would be like right now, my daughter, who is this innocent, beautiful baby in my eyes, right? Feeling like she was bad and like she makes things worse. And that saddens me that that's the feeling you grew up with. So you now have, as a child, we learn all these feelings and emotions, and that becomes the foundation of what we build our life on, right? And so now you're 10, 11 years old. You're finally back with your parents, right?
Yep.
And you feel like you two are bad and black sheeps and make things worse.
I didn't feel like it at that point, like just looking back, it's just what it seems like, Like even today, I can't go to the fucking family gatherings because I punched a pedophile. Well, That's justified in my book, but
I do.
how they don't see it that way, it's because I went down a different path,
So where did you go once you moved back with your mom and dad after being taken away?
Well, first I went to my grandma's house, and then we moved to Masonville, to the White House, and that's when I met Jared Cutting, and all them, you know.
And then what was it like from there as far as like your childhood, your youth?
It continued, drinking vodka, started doing pills at about 15, 16 with my neighbor. Was in a band. So, I mean, at 16, I was playing live music and getting all fucked up. The bartender would serve me. I had a full beard, so they didn't ID me.
Right.
And it was just,
Things were different back then.
yeah, I mean, but it just got worse as time went on.
When did hard drugs come into the picture?
I don't know, maybe 17, 18. Maybe I did coke for the first time.
So primarily it was all marijuana, pills, weed beforehand. I mean,
Yeah,
excuse
not
me,
so much pills. It was pretty much just
alcohol.
all alcohol and weed, at that point.
Now, once you started doing cocaine in your late teens, how did it proceed from there?
It's not like it was an everyday thing. It was once in a while. And then I started experimenting with, mushrooms and acid, and
Mushrooms and acid, and then how was that?
that's when all the jail shit started.
How old were your first incarceration?
First one I was still in high school. I was in like ninth grade. Doing weekends, going to school during the week, going to jail on the weekends.
For what?
Um, grand larceny. I call like 7, 8 felonies. Um, Ended up breaking in somebody's house.
While you were high or drunk?
No, actually, I was sober. I just had bad influences, I guess, at that time. I mean, I hold myself accountable, but
You were a child.
yeah, but
Right.
I mean, it wasn't my idea,
Right.
So
And then from there, how did it proceed?
that's when all the jail time started. I mean, it was a violated probation, high speed police chase. It's just after that first county bullet, I couldn't stay out of jail for more than a month. And that from 18 all the way until 30 something maybe. It was just it got to the point at the end where I couldn't stay out of jail for a fucking weekend. So it was like my whole life was just being locked up, and I started getting institutionalized feeling, and
How old were you when you did your first state bid?
it was 2013. Um,
And what was that for?
Well, I went from county jail to Middletown inpatient, and when I got picked up, I caught a bus to Oneonta, and when I got picked up, my family greeted me with a 30-pack, and I went from there.
So Oneonta is one of the bigger towns in New York, in the area that we live in. So when was your first rehab experience?
Um, I don't even know. I'm gonna say Salvation Army, just about.
And how old were you?
It was like 2013. It was after I did the state bid, and I was on parole.
You went to rehab.
It was either go to Salvation Army or violate parole. And that was
Right.
I just did it so I didn't have to do more time.
Right. Okay. So a couple prison bids, a couple rehabs, right? Let's fast forward to the last 3-4 years, right? What changed?
Honestly, I don't fucking know.
Because obviously it's gotten worse.
Well, my drug use got worse, but I haven't been going to jail at all. Since my last prison bid in 19, when I got out,
Mm-hmm.
I've I don't know. I don't know what it was. I was able to put a little clean time together, 90 days. And then I'd go out for the night, and just get fucked up. I wanted that escape, I guess. And then I'd do good, I still had the job, still had everything going. And another 90 days would go by and I'd do it again. And
Rewarding yourself for your sobriety.
not so much that, I don't think. It was, I just get sick of the repetition of life, and I want that escape, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's
So
rewarding.
during those 90 days of your bouts of continuous sobriety, because all of this is your path to stable recovery.
Mhm.
So you're in recovery, right? You've been in recovery since the first day. You've said, whoa, this is not okay and this needs to change. For me, that means you are on your path to stable recovery,
Mhm.
to continuous recovery.
Yeah.
So it's a path, it doesn't, we don't just say, hey, I'm going to get sober today. And that's the way that it ends up being. That's not how life goes. It's a path. It's a process. It is a tumultuous process. What did you do on those parts of your path to keep that 90 days?
I was honestly nothing. I was
Perfect
just,
answer, actually.
I was going to work. I was going to the gym at that time. That helped just get my mind focused on something other than not having patience. And,
Mhm.
I don't know. It's something about I just can't sit home. I can't watch fucking TV. It's like I have no peace unless I'm at the gym or something with music on. Or
Mhm. So I asked you that question for a specific reason. I want you to see what worked and what didn't work, because that's how we move forward, right?
Mhm.
And I asked you what you did and you said nothing, but then you named a few things.
Yeah.
So obviously those few things are part of the foundation of what works for you.
But did it work if I was still
Yes.
relapsing?
Yes. Yes. See, this is the thing that you and I go back and forth with all the time. You constantly sell yourself short, and it makes me want to climb the walls.
You know how many fucking times I've heard that one?
Oh, so I want to show you guys something, and then we're going to continue forward. So George, who sells himself short not constantly, has an unbelievably hidden talent that I am honored to own a piece of. So George makes these stunning works of art, because that's what I consider them. He makes cutting boards, and then he's also able to, what is this, wood burning?
That one's not a cutting board, though.
Okay. Well, this one's a picture, but I will show you it's similar. And then he etches them, and this one was a Christmas gift, and they're just gorgeous. Okay. And this is what I mean. Like, I get to work with the most talented people. This one's heavy, bear with me. This is a cutting board that I will be purchasing from him. This is absolutely stunning. So he has this amazing hidden talent that he does not give himself enough credit for. And I'm going to strongly encourage him to start an Etsy or some sort of website where you guys or anyone else who is interested can purchase these beautiful works of art from. Hold on, this is a heavy one. I have to put it back down. So, George, what did you do? Nothing. Obviously, that's not nothing, right? Please comment down below if you think that these are gorgeous, because I would love for him to see the comments to know his worth when it comes to these things. Hold on, let me move this one too before Sugar knocks it off the table. So we have those two things. I have another one. I will actually post a picture for you guys to see. I think sometimes as addicts, we sell ourselves short, right? We don't see the beauty in what we create because we're not capable, because our sickness is so great and so powerful and so overbearing.
Well, I want to agree with that. And I think all the jail time I've done that expect the worst, hope for the best mentality.
Right. I mean,
It's kind
yes.
of
Yes, but
makes me see the
you know,
negative side of shit.
so Jared says that. Yes. Jared says that often. He's like, "Oh, well, if I don't have my high expectations and it doesn't turn out, I don't have to worry about it. It's not, it's not whatever." And I feel like that's a very sad place to live, and that almost sets you up for failure.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, great. So your expectations won't be let down. But at that point, they won't be let down a lot, right?
Yeah.
But they're still let down, and that still fucking hurts no matter what. So I feel like that's a shitty place. Like, no, don't set your fucking sights low. Set them shits high because you deserve that. Give yourself the respect you deserve.
Yeah.
So I'm going to insert a clip here of a very powerful, very triggering. So this is where it might get spicy for some of y'all, and I respect that if you have to back away. George sent me a video last night. George has been toying with sobriety for, well,
when I went to first time accounting.
Okay.
Meeting.
So he's been toying with sobriety for years upon years. And when I say sobriety, I mean prolonged abstinence, sobriety, whatever term you want to give it, right? And he has recently, the one thing I appreciate about George is his sincere honesty. We have been talking about his drug use or alcohol use on and off now for close to 3-4 years, however long I've been home. And we'll talk about it and he'll be like, I'm just not ready. Like, I'm just not. And I'm like, all right, cool. And then 3 weeks ago, the last month, we'll just leave it at that. George came to me and said, I want to go to rehab. And I was like, are you sure? And he was like, yes. And I said, okay, cool. Let's do it. Because George and I have developed the relationship that he doesn't blow smoke up my ass. If he says he's not ready, he'll be honest and be like, I'm not ready. And he had said, I'm ready. And I was like, I'll be right there. And we went and we called my connection for the rehab that I had that I felt was the best suiting for him at the time. We did the intake together on the phone and they arranged pickup. Unfortunately, we ended up having snow. So the pickup date got pushed out a little bit and George went there and he felt uncomfortable. And he stayed for the detox and he knows I did not agree with his opinion and decision to leave. I still don't. And the reason why I'm saying that, and this is what So, for me, for someone like George, in my professional and personal opinion, I don't think rehab is about rehab for George. He's been to, 5, 7, 12, 8, whatever, right? Handful, we'll say.
I know it all. I mean, not all, but you know what I mean? I mean, that's not what I need, I feel like.
So he doesn't need, you can always learn more tools, but he has the basic toolbox. He has the gist of it. He knows what he needs to do. It's the doing that he has a hard time with. In my opinion, for someone like George, what he needed sorely from rehab was the time away from the area we live in, people, places, and things. He needed that time for the drugs to clear out of his system and build his dopamine and serotonin back up, and for him to get a clearer picture on where he wanted to be and what he wanted to be. And George wanted to come back home.
A week wasn't long enough to get all that shit taken care of.
No. So, and George came back home, and at first things were okay-ish.
Is that what you call my dad blowing meth smoke in my direction?
Well, so it's very hard to continue on a path when your home life is screwed up, because that's the foundation for every other thing in your life. And I've said this in other videos and I've had this conversation with other people. When your home life's fucked, your head's fucked, everything's fucked. It just is what it is. When you don't have a safe, healthy place to put your head at night.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm going to say some things now. George has never grieved the fact that his sister passed away and the way she's passed away. He holds himself responsible. We have this conversation every day. And every day I say to you, you are not responsible for Liz's death.
I do not hold myself responsible. I look back and I see
you hold yourself accountable
how she was laying on the floor. I was so fucking high, sitting at the table. And she was crying for help, pretty much, telling me to shut all the fucking lights off over and over again. And I just found I'd shut that light off with like a fucking candle. Blow the candle out. Like she was crying for help without asking or saying. And every time I think about Liz, that's all I can fucking see. Um, like I went in the bathroom. I fucking hid in the bathroom. Um, Walked in the bathroom, shut the fucking light off on me. And, you know, I can accept her death. You know, she wanted to die. Um, but what I can't accept is what I know. Um, that night, Liz told me things to get off her chest that I hold in. She told me not to tell people, tell anybody. And I won't. But that shit, fucking, it's still eating me up. And it's always going to. The fact that she was sexually abused 3 days before, I will put that out there. That is one thing she told me not to fucking say, but I know who the fuck did it. Um, I know it's a fact. Was never fucking lied to me. Um, I went out and I was finding answers. I was seeking answers from the people that were involved, and I knew everything they were gonna say, and they verified it all. Why did I need verification? I don't fucking know. But
I think
I hold that, and I hold them accountable for that, and I do want revenge, and that's never gonna go away.
I don't think that that's an abnormal feeling. I mean, so for those of you that don't know, Liz died from a bacterial infection from intravenous drug use. She did not die of an overdose. I've said this a million times. She died for complications from her substance use disorder, which was not an overdose.
Why can't I get the blood test results back?
I don't know.
Neither.
I don't know. I don't know. I wish you could. I think that would give you
they said they had
some.
them, but they won't give them out.
Well, I think that's something
But regardless, I mean, it doesn't matter what was in her blood, except her death. I mean, I don't accept it. But
right.
You know what I mean?
No, I get it because I feel the same way. Was it avoidable? Absolutely. Do I feel I could have done my job better and pushed harder? Yes, I do. And we've had this conversation, and that's something that I will personally carry with me every day because I loved her. We had a different type of relationship, obviously, than you and her did because she was your sibling and you guys had a whole lifetime together. But Liz was not only someone that I worked with, she was my friend. She was someone that I loved dearly and knew for a very long time. And when things were really bad for me decades ago, there was a couple of times she picked me up and helped me up. And I feel like I failed her because I couldn't do the same for her. And in the end, she passed away. Maybe if I would have pushed harder for her to go to a place and not waited to send her to a place where there was smoking or any of that, maybe they would have caught the bacterial infection and maybe she'd still be here. Maybe she wouldn't.
Maybe if I would have picked her ass up off the floor,
maybe she would. Maybe she wouldn't. But at that point, neither one of us will ever know.
Yeah.
And
what ifs just fucking
they eat you up 100%. And I feel like now that has become your cross to carry. And that all leads to what I was about to say. So last night, George said to me, we've been going back and forth about what he's going to do. So he came home from the detox and was okay for a little bit, not using Wise, right? And then you can only, you can't go into a florist for only so long before you smell the flowers, right? and he went back into a home that there's active methamphetamine use. And
Then I started out doing meth, though. I got a bottle of Fireball. It wasn't the meth. It was
the alcohol.
It wasn't. I was seeing the negative and everything, which I'll admit I do that. It's hard for me to see the positive and shit, but it was nothing was going right. It was just a day of fucking nothing going right. It was making me mad, and I was like, and the second day, halfway in, it was the same shit. Nothing I did was going right.
You get a case of fuckets.
Yeah, there's just tiny little simple things, it was just like nothing. It's going right, and then I was like, fuck this, might as well be drunk if this is going to get fucked up.
Right. And then I feel like drinking lowers people's inhibitions, and then you just go for what you're really after, or what's very easily available in our area. I think meth is almost the easiest access as alcohol.
Yeah, let's say it was right at my fingertips the whole time.
I know. Oh, I know. So last night, I said something. George said a couple of things.
At my dad's house. I'm just going to put that out there.
Yeah, no, I know. So George said a couple things to me. I said a couple things to him, and he was like, "Watch this." And I was like, "Okay." And a few minutes went by, and it was like 11:15, and I'm like, "I'm going to bed, bro. Like, I'm old. I have a kid to get up in the morning. I'm going to bed." So I'm just about to shut my vibration on my phone off, because if not, I will wake up all night. And all of a sudden, he sends me, I see a video or something, and I'm like, "What the heck is this?" So I click it open, and I'm going to post it so you guys can watch it right here. And George decided last night, out of the blue, and I want to touch on why you felt that way, to take whatever remaining paraphernalia he had and whatever he had left in a bag and flush it and break it and whatever. And I have to...
I don't know. I fucking pipe when I'm fucking shattered.
So this is not funny, but it just goes to show, like, I was like, ain't that ironic? The determination that your addiction has. Poor George, he's sitting there trying to bash something, right? With his deodorant cap, cracks the deodorant cap. The thing just breaks in half, doesn't shatter. Then he goes and he grabs a brush and he's trying to bang it. Still doesn't shatter. Finally, he's like, what the fuck? And he goes over and he grabs his boot, and then he finally gets it. And I felt like, well, isn't that ironic? Isn't that the truest depiction of someone trying to get sober and your old life still right there with all the strength that it possesses over you? That you had to work at it to break it. And it didn't take you one time. It didn't take you two times. It took you 3 different tries to finally get it, right? And I felt like, man, that's a beautiful metaphor right there, because many of us, majority of us, don't get sober the first time we try, not the second time. Man, if you get it the third time, like, you're lucky, right? And I felt like
30 times.
Because it goes to show you how strong those drugs and those pieces of paraphernalia truly are. And I thought it was incredible that you did that. And I was unbelievably proud of you for doing that. I know how difficult that is mentally to do, because it's like setting yourself up to feel bad and all that. So what was the driving factor behind that?
I don't know. I mean, for the longest time, I haven't wanted to smoke meth. It's fucking disgusting. It's not, you don't even get high. It's fucking horrible. Can't sleep, you don't eat, and I don't like it at all. Why do I keep doing it? I can't even answer that fucking question. But the driving force last night, it wasn't the first time I've done that. It's I don't know. I guess the driving force was talking to you and just wanting something different. And I fucking hate doing that shit. So it's not hard for me to smash a pipe or flush anything, I mean.
Sick and tired of being sick and tired?
Yeah. And does that smashing or throwing away something like that, does that do do anything to help me when it's so easily available, you know?
I mean, yes and no. It shows your ability to want to change, and it shows me that you know what's up. Excuse me, like
What I want,
yeah.
but I don't.
So this is my question from here. So George also tends to be like the rest of us, right? And want to help other people before he helps himself. Because it's just easier to concentrate on someone else's issues versus your own. It's just easier that way. I mean, why should I look at me when I can look at you? And George has been trying to help a friend of ours that we have in common over the last few days. And I've said to him a million times, and he doesn't necessarily like when I say, "Oh, God bless you, Lena." Lena's now sneezing. He doesn't necessarily like when I say these things to him, but I have said to him, like, you've got to help yourself first. You can't help anybody else. We can't help you. Da 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 da. And he's like, I know, but I just don't have that in me. I just can't. Because George, as much as he probably is not going to like me saying this, is a big old softy at heart and wants to see other people doing well and being healthy and being good. And I want George to be able to do that for himself. So, where do we go from here?
Well, first I'm going to say,
It keeps tapping.
first I'm going to say that my philosophy in life is what makes me happy is helping other people, seeing other people smile, and that's what makes me, you know, who I am. So there's a thin line somewhere in between there that I got to find. Yeah, so you're right. I mean, you're kind of right, I think, but kind of not when you said if you can't help yourself, you can't help others. Because I feel like by helping others, that's truly what helps me. You know, to avoid self-pity and feeling bad about myself and dwelling on all the negative bullshit. When I start doing that, I have to go out and fucking just do one thing for somebody else, you know, to get my mind off of myself, which is what I need to do at the end of the day, is think about myself. But I don't know, like I fucking complicate shit and I need to keep it simple.
Well, I think, honestly, I think we all complicate shit. And I think but I think you're right in what you're saying. In a sense, sometimes it is helpful to us to help others.
AA meeting I went to after I came back from Arizona. I was high as fuck. I was smoking meth in a camper for days, and I went to a meeting. And the thing I heard that stuck with me was, fuck everything, doesn't matter. I was like, well, maybe that perspective will work. And it definitely did. I don't know how to change my perspective to anything different, I guess, but that one stuck and it wasn't a good one.
Well, sometimes the bad things stick easier. I don't know why. It just is. So moving forward, where do you want to go? How do you want to continue on this path to sustained recovery? Do you want to go back and do another detox? Do you want me to help you find some sort of sober housing or assisted living type of situation? Like, what is it that you want?
Honestly, I don't know what I want. I want to find peace within myself. That's what I've never had. Do I want to go to a detox? No, I'm sober today.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what the fuck do I need a detox for?
I just want to lay all the cards on the table and give you all your options.
Sober living. I mean, I don't feel like a halfway house is.
No, I don't think a halfway house.
You know, like structured living. Like as a man, I don't feel like that's what I need. I don't need somebody to tell me what the fuck to do. I know what to do. And deep down, I do. And what I need, I think, is just to get away, which just me, you know, just find myself someplace alone. You know what I mean? Just jump in a van, which is the cop called a derby van last night. And I thought that was pretty funny. But, just hop on the highway, fill up the tank, and when I run out of money, make some money.
So I think what the problem with that is, though, I mean, I understand that, and I feel like yes, in a sense, but so I know for me, I've often thought that in the past, but I also know I take me with me.
Yeah.
And I also know if I want something, I'm going to move heaven and hell to get it, and I'm going to make it happen.
It's not even that hard when I can identify what people do just by looking at them pretty much.
Sorry if you guys hear Frankie drinking water in the background. She's obviously super thirsty all of a sudden.
I know what I want.
Okay, what do you want?
Something I can't have. Something that my addiction, my alcohol, because I was selfish. Because I couldn't stay sober.
And this is
a woman and her family. But the key to me, I think, is I have to find acceptance. And, I disrespected. I lost it because I was disrespectful, and I have to accept that. And
you lost it because it wasn't made for you. It wasn't meant for you.
but I mean, it's not like we don't talk. I don't know what's gonna happen a day from now. You know what I mean? I mean, was it meant for me?
At that time?
I don't know. I don't know if it's. I don't know. Oh my God, I can't predict what was meant for me. But I feel like a scumbag, I guess. Shame and guilt. I don't know how to let it go. That's another thing I gotta address, I guess. But,
have you ever considered working with somebody like a therapist?
Actually, I've reached out, but I've never followed through, I guess. I've been told many times that I've had need anger management.
No. So this is the thing. Anger management around here is a joke.
At the country store?
Yes. Yes.
Just talking to Jared about that. I don't know. My alcoholism is still there. There's a couple times, like when Liz died, right? That day, that morning. I wanted to hit the dirt, so I made sure that I did. I got a huge bottle of vodka. I jumped in front of a fucking vehicle doing like 45 miles an hour just to see if I could feel it. And that fucking thing blasted me. I came to in a wooden shed full of bicycles, puking blood. And where the fuck am I? And I looked down, I seen the bracelet, said I was in the hospital. I'm like, what the fuck? I got out of the shed and I looked, I was in Binghamton, I don't remember walking out of the hospital. I don't remember what the fuck happened. I didn't have any money in my pocket. So I called the cab and dipped out on the cab when I got to Sydney. And turned out I spit in the cop's face.
Oh, that's
and it's weird though, because I feel like things happen for a reason. This thing with my buddy that I've been going through, that's paralyzed. If he wasn't doing what he was doing, I never would have made amends to that cop, which I did. And would I have done that 5 years ago? Fuck no. Get the fuck away from me.
So I want to ask you a question. And I've said this to you before. Maybe not in question form, but I've said it. If Liz was still here, do you think she would want you to be living your life like this? Or, knowing where Liz is, do you think she would want you to join her?
Liz would want to, if Liz was still alive, we'd be getting high together. Honestly.
Absolutely.
We'd be getting high together.
Do you think, though, she would want this life for you?
now that
She
she's
obviously
dead.
didn't want it for herself. Otherwise, she wouldn't have been working with me, right? And she knew she missed her children. She missed her life. She wanted it
Yeah,
back.
I felt the pain that she had.
Do you think she would want this life for you? Or do you
No,
think she would
I
want,
know she looked up to me when I was sober. Um, that's why in the beginning she would make some shit up saying she didn't have food and needed me to send her money, you
Mhm.
know, and then like, wait, don't fucking lie to me, you know, like, I'm not gonna send you money, like, I'll give you money for a bag, so you ain't gotta go fuck some dude, so you can get high, you know, and like after that, it was just, stop lying about it, she just, I need to get high,
right?
that's it.
Because you took away the judgment and the stigma from it and you let her be her.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes that's the most important thing you can ever do for someone. That's why, like, when I asked you, like, did you use today? Yeah, I appreciate your honesty because if you did, that's cool. If you didn't, that's cool too. It's a process. I don't expect anyone to just be sober. Like, it's a fucking process. It's hard. It is. It's oh my God.
At the end of the day, I'd be lying to myself, not you.
And that's the thing. Like,
You
when
know?
people lie to me or tell me something, like, I've already walked that walk. I got to where I am because I stopped lying, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like sometimes that's the easiest thing we can do is just own our honesty. And that gives us integrity. Whether people agree with our actions or not, we are still being honest. What do you want to leave them with?
Don't do what I did.
I mean, or we all say that, right? What do you think is going to be your next step from here? Like tomorrow, when you wake up, what's it going to be like?
Honestly, it don't fucking matter. I gotta focus on today.
Okay, fair enough. What's happening later on today?
Again, I don't know. Anything could happen, but as of now, in this moment,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to use, and I feel good. I guess.
Okay.
I mean, my
What can I,
plans for the future. Kind of waiting to get my income taxes back, and gonna make a big change, whatever that may be. Um, Not positive yet, but
so you're like at a crossroads, basically, right? Mm-hmm. So you are at a standstill and a crossroads, which I think early in your path to recovery is so typical because you're at a standstill because you don't really know which way to go. You know the way you've been going is not helping anything, but you don't know which way to go to help yourself and your situation.
Saying no is a big thing I got to do.
It's hard. It's super hard. What can I do or can we do as a community to support you?
It's a tough one. Just maybe if I ask for help, just do what you've been doing.
I mean, I'll hold you accountable all day long. You know I will.
Yeah, that's what I like about you.
But I think there's a right way to do it and a wrong way to do it. I think alienating you and putting you down, or anyone in general, not just you, all that tough love bullshit, I don't think that helps anyone, honestly. I just think it just makes people feel like shit. But, you know, if I say to you, like, you want brutal honesty, okay, here it is. I don't agree with your decision and this is why. I also love the fact that you will say, okay, I can understand where you're coming from, but this is why I feel the way I do, and then go from there. And I think that is truly a strong quality of yours and one of the beauties about how you are as a person. And I commend you for that. And I just think
what I don't need is that tough love. Your sister would have made it if she would have went to the crisis center bullshit, you know, like.
I agree totally. And I understand exactly where you're coming from.
I say that because I just want to put that out there.
Because it was recently said.
Know what the fuck I'm talking about.
I just think that is way too pour salt on a wound. And we don't know that. That's the thing. Like, we don't know. We don't know any of that. As we were saying earlier, those what ifs, they're very damning. And I feel like that's a really shitty thing for anyone to say to anyone because we don't know if that was the case, right? She could have went, she could have not went, she could have got better, she could have not got better, she could have went, and the same thing could have happened. We don't know. And I feel like that is don't back somebody into a wall to get them to do what you think is best for them. I think George is a free human being that needs to make the decisions that best suit him. And that's why I always ask you, what do you want to do? What's it like for you today? What's next for us? Where do we go? Because you're driving this bus. I'm just here to potentially hand you a direction here and there.
Yeah, it's like when we got that snow and it canceled my transportation. Trying to put me in a fucking crisis center. Like,
no,
it's my fault,
I agree.
you know,
I agree 100%. That's why I was like, that's crazy. We're not even going to go there. That's controlling.
Yeah.
Right. So I think, I will, as long as you're okay with it, I will continue to give them updates periodically. We can even do another video together in the future if you want. We can see where you're at.
Yeah.
I just, I think this was, George and I have gone back and forth about doing this video probably for about 2 weeks now. And I'm actually super glad that it happened. Please drop all your positive comments down below. Remember, this is a therapeutic supportive community. And if you are not here for that, you can see yourself out. And I just want to say thank you for today. I know this was something you wanted to do, but we're hesitant about doing it. And today you were like, let's do it. And I was like, let me cancel what I can. And here we are. So remember, everybody, we recover loudly so those behind us do not suffer in silence.
Thank you too, Jim.
You're so welcome. Oh, George has got to go. He's got a call.